So here it is, finally, the brand new Specialized S-Works Aethos. And yes, it looks the same as the old bike, but there's one key change. Full internal routing. Yes, that's right. No more flappy exposed cables. It's all internal. Something that many people have been asking for since it launched many years ago. And well, here it is. And in today's video, I'll share all the main changes and improvements with you, and also see how the bike rides and performs. I'm here in Surrey on a lovely sunny Monday morning to put the bike through its paces. I've got 2 days to ride a bike and see what it's all about and see how it differs to the old bike, which I really liked, and whether lightweight bikes are still worth buying. Is there still enough demand for a truly lightweight bike that isn't trying to be aerodynamic at all? So let's talk about, let's dive in. The new Aethos has been improved or changed in 3 key areas. There's weight, geometry, and tyre clearance. And we'll start with weight first. The main reason, I guess, we're buying an Aethos is how lightweight it is. And the first shocking story about the new bike is it's actually heavier than the old bike. Yes, I thought they might have made it lighter, but it's actually heavier, to the tune of 10 grams. So the frame set, size 56, S-Works claimed is 595 grams, while the lower Fact 10R for the Pro and Expert builds is 705 grams. So some people might be surprised at the weight gain, but the weight is due to a taller head tube. The stack has now increased by 15 millimeters, and a UDH and a few other changes. And they told me at the presentation that in the early phase of the development of the frame, the weight increase was looking at more like 40 to 50 grams, not 10 grams. So they have worked really hard to save weight out of every part of the frame. And the actual weight for the bike I was riding, a size 56 S-Works with SRAM Red group set and Alpinist wheels, new handlebar, and a computer mount, and 2 bottle cages, but no pedals fitted because pedals weigh different amounts, weighs 6.14 kilograms on the scales versus a claim weight from Specialized of 5.98 kilograms. So a bit of a weight difference between my actual weight and their claim weight, but still very lightweight indeed. And the paint finish on the bike I was riding, an amazing sort of marbled red paint finish, was definitely on the heavy side compared to some of the lighter weight paint options they offer. It's still a very lightweight bike though, and even going down the range to more affordable bikes, you're still looking at 7.12 kilogram claim weight for a expert level Ultegra Di2 model. And compared to some other super lightweight bikes that have launched in the last few months, there is the Cervelo R5, of course, with a claimed frame weight of 657 grams, and the Scott Addict RC is a claimed 599 grams. And there's also the brand new BMC Team Machine SLR01 with a claimed frame weight of 700 grams. So quite a few really super lightweight bikes down to 6 kilograms, way below the UCI weight limit and illegal for the pros to use unless they put some lead weight in the bottom bracket. And that despite having sort of wide rims, wide tubeless tires, and disc brakes and electronic gears as well. So truly lightweight bikes, how they were 10 or 15 years ago. The second big change to the Aethos is the geometry. The original Aethos essentially mirrored the tarmac in the stack and reach, and basically was a race bike, even though the pros can't race it, and most people buying the bike aren't buying it for racing. If you're racing, you buy a tarmac, and people buying the Aethos probably could benefit from a slightly more relaxed fit. And the new bike has a more relaxed fit. The main change is a stack, the head tube, which is now 15 millimeters taller, so it puts the handlebars in a higher position. And the stack is actually a bit higher than a giant Defy endurance road bike, but the reach is still longer than the Defy, and it's definitely not an endurance bike. It doesn't have space for 40mm tires, and there are no mudguard mounts, so not really an endurance bike in the same way as a Defy, but has a more usable, friendly, accessible fit. And when I asked Specialized about how they arrived at that 15mm figure, was it plucked out of the air? Well, it's based on all their retool fit. Specialized bought Retool, the bike fitting system, many years ago, and when they fit ride to bikes in shops around the world, they have all the data to collect, and I guess they looked at all that data and arrived at 15 millimeters. I also asked Specialized if they ever considered multiple stacks for each frame size in the same way that Fairlight cycles do, in having a regular stack and a tool stack. And I was told that was never considered at all due to the cost of having multiple frame size options in the range, and also adding confusion to customers as well, which is a fair point, I guess. So yeah, the new bike is 15mm taller. There are a few other geometry tweaks as well to make it slightly more relaxed, I guess, when you're riding at speed. So the head angle is ½ degree slacker than before, and the wheelbase is 7mm longer, all in the chainstay to create that sort of longer, slacker vibe. And the bottom bracket is 3mm lower to account for the bigger tyres the bike is now designed for, because the third big change to the bike is tyre clearance has increased from 32 on the old bike to 35 on the new bike, and that does address or help embrace the trend for wide tyres. And given, like I say, most people buying the Aethos probably aren't racing, they're using it for just riding bikes for fun, and that amazing way a lightweight bike feels beneath you and doing mountain climbs. And if you're riding anywhere like here in the UK, the roads are in a bad state of repair, so wide tyres is no bad thing. And I asked them if they ever thought about going wider to 38 or 40, and they said it's all about that balance, that compromise of you can make the tyre clearance bigger, but then you have to modify the frame, the weight increase might go up, and it's not trying to be an endurance bike. It's not really trying to step on the toes of the Crux or the Roubaix, but the Aethos with 40mm tyre clearance would be a really enticing option for what you might call an all-road bike, as a mudguard mounts, and it might be my perfect endurance road bike. That slightly higher stack for a more relaxed fit over long ride, but still a nice sort of stretch to the handlebars, like long reach, and a super lightweight frame. But yeah, it's not. And when it comes to pricing, you're looking at a starting price for a complete build of £5,500 in the UK, going all the way up to £11,500 for the best of the best, the S-Works model I rode for 2 days in the Surrey Hills. Talking which, let's go and see how the bike performs. I went up Box Hill 3 times and joined a group ride to see how the bike actually performed.
I've always loved the Specialized Aethos for that singular focus of being as lightweight as possible, and still truly lightweight, nothing else comes close. And also no ugly aero, and just a lovely ride quality. For riding up hills and mountains, it's a great bike. And I'm happy to report that the bike still rides as well as the old bike and really feels the same. The biggest change visually when I'm looking down at the bike is a lack of flappy cables and this nice Roval one-piece carbon handlebar. The bike still has that very tangible low mass feeling when you are spinning the pedals at any cadence in any gear, and it's a super whippy bike as well, and the steering is super lightweight, really fast, and it's so nimble, and it's so much fun riding up climbs. And even down the hill and along flat roads, it's still a fun bike to ride. It's still probably not the stiffest bike if you are a bigger, heavier, more powerful rider, but as somebody weighing about 65 kilos, it doesn't really exhibit much flex. It doesn't feel as stout when you are going full gas and doing a sprint effort as the Tarmac SR9 or a Trek Madone or a Canyon Aero. Even I can feel that with my measly power output, but definitely not, it's not a super stiff platform. But I can't feel it flexing beneath me. Power transfer is just fantastic. But really it's the way the bike feels, that ride quality, the smoothness, that light steering, the nimbleness, that makes it a really captivating bike to ride, and definitely puts a smile Well, it puts a smile on my face. Anyway, and a bike. I never bought the Aethos because, well, I had other bikes and money and stuff, but I can see myself buying this next year maybe. Maybe a bike for my 2026 lineup, perhaps to replace my Carnago C68, which I love so dearly, but this is lightweight and feels amazing in the climbs.
It's not just a frame that has been improved, they also have a brand new Roval Alpinist handlebar and brand new Alpinist wheels too. So brand new Alpinist second generation handlebar, the same weight as the previous handlebar, 270 grams claimed for a 40 centimeter wide handlebar with a 10 centimeter stem. But they've increased the surface area of the handlebar, so slightly larger profile overlay top sections to reduce the hand pressure when you're riding on that sort of position. Used to be round, and they reckon that oval is more comfortable than the round profile, and I'd agree. They're very comfy handlebar to ride. Even though I only did 2 short rides, it still felt very comfortable, and I like the amount of bar tape that goes up to not quite a center, but a useful amount. So when you're riding on the tops, you're climbing on the tops, you have your hands on bar tape, and definitely nicer for climbing than the repeat handlebar on the tarmac, for example. In trying to achieve such a lightweight bike, you also need lightweight wheels, and Roval has developed some brand new second generation Alpinist wheels, and they are indeed very light. The weight has gone down from 1,250 grams to a claimed 1,131 grams, and they say that weight is actually with tape on the rims and valves as well. So not trying to make the weight look better by removing the valves and tape, as some brands might do, actual real world weight out of the box. So very lightweight indeed. The big story with the new wheels are the spokes. They are thermoplastic spokes, not carbon fiber, like are very popular in the wheel market right now, which I've tried a bunch over the last year or so. These are thermoplastic spokes developed by a company based in California, near to where Specialized are based, of course, a company called Aero Technology. And I'll put a link to their website down below if you want to check them out in more detail. Really interesting story. And Specialized and Aero have worked together to develop a spoke for the wheels to meet the demands of bicycle wheels, and they save a bunch of weight, and they are exclusive to Specialized for the next 5 years. You won't find any other wheel brand with these spokes. So they're lighter, they're aerodynamic, but my big concern with carbon spokes on the wheels I've tried over the last 12 months is the ride quality is usually reduced. Like, they are quite hard and harsh, but Specialized says these spokes don't have that same downside. And while 2 days isn't an extensive test at all, the wheels definitely did give that smoothness I would want from a wheel set. And the whole bike rode really smoothly indeed, and none of that harshness I would expect from a carbon spoked wheel based on my testing experience so far. So really interesting technology and a really interesting story there to dive into separately in another video, to really go under the skin of these new spokes and put some more miles into these wheels, and also the Rapides and Sprints, which launched earlier this year with the same spoke technology. So yeah, very interesting story indeed.
So I reached the top of Box Hill. Nice view today, lovely sunny weather. This used to be my local stomping ground when I lived in London, but these days not so much. And the last time I rode up here was actually on a tarmac SL9, so what, 2 years ago? And now today on the super lightweight Aethos. And the lightweight versus aerodynamic debate is quite interesting right now. And essentially, if you're a pro rider or an aspiring amateur rider, you go for an aero bike. You want all the margin gains, you want all the max speed you can get. But if you're not obsessed with going as fast as possible, you want a nice riding lightweight bike, and you're not actually racing and pinning a number to your jersey, then a lightweight bike like the Aethos or Scott Addict and a few others on the market right now still makes a really compelling choice. While you can argue about aero versus weight and climb and do the maths on the gradient and the power and the speed, if you are just riding for fun and the challenge to get to the top of the climb, no matter your time, I think the Aethos is perhaps an easy bike to recommend for lots of people. But if you're watching this, you probably know if you're an aero guy, or a lightweight guy, or woman, of course. So yeah, I love the way lightweight bikes feel, the way they respond to you when you are putting the power down on the climb. And I love the simple, classic looks of the Aethos. Anyway, what goes up has to go down. So I'm gonna bomb back down and then wrap up today's first ride of the new Specialized S-Works Aethos.
The new Specialized Aethos proves that lightweight bikes are still a valid choice in today's market. And there is a big debate around Aero versus lightweight, as Aero bikes are getting lighter and lighter, but none are as light as the Aethos right now. And if you don't care about aerodynamics, you're not chasing every marginal gain and every possible watt you can get, and you're not actually racing, then I think the ride quality, the looks, and the simplicity of the Aethos still make it a very compelling choice, and more compelling than ever before thanks to that internal routing, which I know lots of people love and hate in equal measure, the bigger tyre clearance, which is definitely a good step, and the slightly more relaxed fit and that relaxed geometry for an easier ride at speed over crappy roads. So it's every bit as good as the old bike, but definitely improved in enough areas to make it a worthwhile upgrade if you have the original, or if you are in the market for a lightweight bike, then the Aethos is still one of the lightest options right now. There are a few vying for the crown of the lightest road bikes, but I think at about 6 kilos, it's light enough. I don't know how much you can benefit by going much lighter, but until I ride a 5 kilogram bike, I don't know, do I? But right now, if you want a lightweight bike, the Aethos is still one of the kings of the lightweight road bike market. And it will be a longer term review of the Aethos, hopefully a lower level model in the near future. So make sure you stick around by hitting that subscribe button down below. And if you want to see some other lightweight bikes worth considering, then watch this video up here.